Respected Chairperson Neeta Ma'am, Distinguished Chief Guest Shri Amitabh Bachchan Ji, Honorable Heads, Teachers and Families, and for one last time, our class of 2018. I've spent the last month with a knot in my stomach, desperately trying to trace its cause until I chanced upon something guarded in a cubby of my bookshelf. Not too long ago, I spent a long 14-hour day within these walls, hosting an event wearing this badge that reads, Prasidh, Class of 2018, DAIS Alumni. That day, I was called crazy for saying I enjoyed the 14-hour day, that I wouldn't trade a second of it for anything. Today, I realize why the word alumni was so unsettling to wear upon my chest. Today, we go from being the oldest and most experienced to young novices in a world overflowing with talent. As we step away from the college counselor's continuous supply of mentors to sweeten our days, we step into a world that can sometimes stop at nothing to pull us down. A world where the sun can scorch everything in its path, unlike the smiling suns on our LKG t-shirts, or the comforting cool blue sun painted on these gates. Today, I recognize that knot in my stomach. It's nothing but the fear of change. Change that faces us as we face the unfamiliar like never before. Change that faces our families as we leave behind an empty nest. And that which faces our dear teachers, who part tonight with undoubtedly the most talented batch they've ever known. But then I wonder, for a boy who's moved across schools and continents, why does that knot still persist today? 5 years ago, many of us entered these grounds for the first time, feeling that very same uncertainty, that very same knot in our stomachs. And for others, that day was just 2 years ago. So we've seen the unfamiliar before, and we've faced it. Why then is change still daunting? It shouldn't be. After all, my journey, from that first day till this very moment, will remind me every day that stepping away from the familiar and inviting change could prove to be the best decision you can ever make. The timid, chubby, lost boy who trudged up our steps 5 years ago is not the confident, hopeful graduate who leaves today. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, while I wish tonight I could speak fondly of 14 years of an unparalleled upbringing, tonight I honor something many of us consider equally or even more powerful: the way this community welcomes a newcomer and transforms them in a matter of 5 or 2 short years. Tonight, we celebrate why this family is an emblem of change in the most exciting, fundamental sense of the word. This is the place where a chemistry class can teach you more about hardship and the interactions between diverse people, more than those between atoms and molecules. We may go on to write or heal sickness, but this is the place we held hearts in our hands for the first time. Here we've learned about ourselves and about the world. And as we go on to find ourselves a place in that world, we'll be tied to our roots here, keeping us grounded when change comes knocking. I remember the first thing we were told when we took on the seemingly Herculean task of the extended essay: prepare to meet a dead end. This is the place we've grown to love, despite and because of every hardship we've faced within its walls. This is the place where a curriculum head will step out of her way to ask that chubby, timid newcomer how he likes his new home. This is the place where the primary section will treat you like their very own, even if you've never set foot in their classrooms. And where the sports department will greet you with your own very personalized nickname each morning as you alight from the school bus. We'll step out into new spaces, learn in changed environments, but we'll ask one simple question to keep us grounded. Do you remember? Because this is the place where best friends can be chanced upon in classrooms and playing fields. This is the place where the doors to faculty rooms can be swung open at the most inconvenient times to ask the most trivial questions. And this is the place where the whole class will descend 7 floors from lessons to cheer on our football team against a particularly special rival, regardless of the outcome. So while we'll always have these roots to propel us in the face of change, I now realize it's a blessing to stand here with that same uncertainty, that same knot in my stomach. Neeta ma'am, thank you for every effort that has made this haven so difficult to leave behind. For a place transforming us in ways we couldn't have asked for anywhere in the world. Heads and teachers, thank you for preparing us for change in the most powerful ways. From the science department, who taught us how dynamic our world truly is, to the language departments, जिन्होंने हमें सिखाया कि परिवर्तन ही जीवन का नियम है, teaching us that change is inevitable and beautiful. The administrative staff and security, your work is commendable, but your stories are inspiring. Mr. Bachchan, so we've grown up eagerly answering your questions on Kaun Banega Crorepati and watching you change lives in a matter of minutes. Your presence tonight is nothing short of inspiring. Last, but certainly not least, our families. Each new day in our lives has been a challenge and a change for you. Thank you for bearing with us and seeking out the most transformative institution for us to spend our years at. With each opportunity to stand at this podium, I felt my voice grow bolder and my attachment stronger. But more importantly, I've seen so many of you, my classmates, overcome stage fright and fear and inhibitions. You've turned a keen eye for social issues into the most successful campaigns. You've faced some of the most trying personal circumstances, but still always excelled. Most importantly, you've still always lent a helping hand. Let it sink in for a second that the next time you might see someone in this room is in the newspapers, not far from today. Class of 2018, you are an Olympic athlete and a young filmmaker. You are a jaw-dropping vocalist and a sharp investor. You are an electronic musician with rhythm in his blood and a spoken word poet with the words to shatter a nation's prejudice. You are an incredible designer and thinker and leader and achiever. Class of 2018, you inspire me and everyone in this room. So yes, times will change, and the world will change you. But most importantly, I know you will change the world. Thank you, DAIS, for a transformation to which nothing can compare.